let's yap. I did an interview today.
Yes.
It was a lot.
Did. It was a lot.
It was a lot, but like it wasn't a lot, you know? It just felt like a lot. Like it took a lot of my day, even though it was 30 minutes of my day. Does that make sense though?
It does, and yet I'm like, tell me more. Like, it was a lot.
It was a lot. It was just like, I had to make sure my resume was printed off. I had to make sure my outfit was ironed. I had to make sure my outfit was picked out, which let me tell you, that was a whole ordeal in itself. I just threw something together.
Yes, but you also said, like, it was only 30 minutes, but it took your whole day.
Yes.
Did it take your whole day because of these tasks, or was there a lot of, like, mental space this was taking in your head?
Probably. It did wake up kind of late at, like, 9:30, because someone was, like, texting me, being like, hey, you coming into work or not? It was more like,
somebody got
hey, you need to get here, actually.
Well, somebody got here before 6 a.m.
Okay, well, someone needs to sleep.
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Anyways.
But we just had a time change.
So I woke up. I had to do my hair, do my makeup. I had to pick out an outfit, iron my outfit. I don't know what happened to our ironing board. I can never find it. Anyways, that's a different story. And then my car was out of gas, but I had to get to work. And the coffee I wanted was across the river, which is where gas is as well.
And so as you're doing this, and I'm guessing our listeners are sitting here going, where are we going with this? And I have a feeling like this is this like, whoa, that was just happening all over in your head and body today.
It was just a lot. Okay, and then like 5 minutes before I was going to leave for my interview, I get a call from the lady and she's like, so by the way, the interview's at this location, which is not the location that I thought it was at.
So were you, by chance, feeling a little anxious today?
A little.
Well, a little or?
Like
a lot. Like, I mean, because interviews
like somewhere around this range.
Yeah.
And not like there.
I think interviews in general are very, they bring up a lot of anxiousness for people because you want to do your best, right? The reason you're being interviewed is because there's something that you're hoping to get. And so it sounds like you went to a lot of mental preparation in what you're going to wear, what you're going to bring, making certain your car had gas, making certain that you had everything together to be able to.
It did not have gas. It did not get gas till after.
And then
it almost ran out, but it's okay.
Right before, it sounds like you thought you were mentally prepared and had everything going. And knowing you, I also know that you like to be early. You like to be prepared. You like to know.
Guys, I drive by the location the night before so that I know where I'm going.
But I think that that's just good practice for most of us.
Yes.
Like, know where you're going, be prepared. And I think that also, for a lot of people, helps relieve some anxiousness.
Yes.
But you got a call that said, by the way.
And then I was like, okay, where am I going? And then it sounded like there's multiple places in the same building. So I'm like, am I supposed to drive around the building, try and find this place? I've never been to this location. I have no clue what's going on. Well, I found it really easily, but I was worried.
So you found it, you got there, and you got through it. But I think this leads us to our topic today.
Yes.
Which is...
I just want to yap about my life.
You want to yap about your life because you feel like your life is one big bag of anxiousness right now? Because that's what we're talking about, is anxiety and what people might be experiencing when they're anxious. And the difference between feeling anxious, which might be normal, and having those sort of normal reactions, those temporary situations, versus maybe what we would consider an elevated level of symptoms that is the diagnosis of an anxiety disorder that causes some challenges in certain areas of our life. So right now, just lots of anxiousness, which is pretty typical.
This lady makes me anxious sometimes. She was stressing me out this morning.
I'm sorry. Well, and I think that that's another point is like sometimes, especially anxiety, feeling anxious is very contagious. If you're around somebody who's having moments of being anxious or irritable or what have you, then it certainly, people pick up on that.
Emotion contagion. That's what it's called.
It's what?
Emotion contagion?
Emotion contagia.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. I don't know. I learned about it in my travel trips because they were like, everyone has to stay positive because emotions are contagious.
Yes.
Yes.
But emotion contagia, like, is that an official thing?
I don't know.
Or is that just an evolution?
Hold on.
Oh, we're going to Google this.
Yes, we are right now.
Because this is how we roll.
This is how I need to know if I'm going to cut this out because I sound stupid.
No, we're leaving it in because it sounds sort of cool. And even if it's not a thing, we're totally coining this emotion contagia. So anyway, I'll explain a little bit that yes, this morning was having an episode of being hangry. I woke up super early, time change recent, and I wake up early anyway, and I was already a little hungry, which is unusual for me in the morning. And I was like, okay, I'm still going to get some coffee. That'll curb some hunger. But it didn't, and I was getting hangry by the time you got here.
Guys, she asked me if I wanted breakfast. Yes, I wanted breakfast. I wanted a breakfast sandwich, and then I did not get a breakfast sandwich because she decided she didn't want breakfast anymore.
I did want breakfast, but by the time you responded, because somebody several hours later,
30 minutes later.
30 minutes later,
30
I know,
minutes.
but I'm saying several hours from when I had first woken up. By the time you responded or I got your message, I only had like 15, 20 minutes before my next meeting. So there wasn't time to order breakfast, have you pick it up, bring it back, and eat it. I mean, you could have gotten something, but I could not have. So then by the time I finished that session, yeah, I was a little hangry. And I felt bad, right? So this was the thing. As your mom, I knew that how I was being was not what you needed to be around before your interview.
Guys, it's not an official term.
It's not.
It's not.
But let's make it official.
I'm making it one.
Right here. Emotion contagia.
It sounds more fancy and like storybook-ish, you know?
Right.
I like it. Anyways.
So define it. Say it and define it for us.
No, I'm good. You can say it.
Emotion?
You say it, I will define it.
Emotion contagia.
When Miss Ma'am is being cranky and it makes me cranky. That's how we're defining that one.
When somebody's emotions are a little elevated, causing another person to respond to that, right? Like little miss, when she's in her little thing and I'm starting to like, whoo, but I'm breathing through it. I'm breathing through it so I can be the mom that you need in that moment. But this is what we do. We give each other grace so that
I just want you to know I didn't hear anything that you were saying while I was Googling that.
Am I like Charlie Brown's teacher in your world? Something like, wah, wah, wah,
like I heard things and I responded to things. Do I know exactly what you said? Absolutely not.
Typical student.
Okay. I'm not your student.
Not this term.
Right.
Did you just roll your eyes at me, Missy Lou?
I would never.
Never.
Anyways.
Yes. So I think the other thing people sometimes don't realize, right? Because I hear a lot of like, I have anxiety, meaning, and they're meaning it in the way of, I have anxiety, I have an anxiety disorder. And
I don't know that they're meaning it in the terms of I have an anxiety disorder. People just generalize anxiety as I'm struggling. Generalize anxiety as anxiety and not I'm feeling anxious or I have an anxiety disorder. It's just the same for people.
They're making no distinction between the two. And there is a big distinction.
Yes.
Because I think also times people think anxiety is bad or anxiousness is bad. And it actually can be very helpful. Right? What's that look for?
How is that helpful?
How is anxiousness helpful?
Yeah.
So anxiousness is oftentimes just a clue to your body, like, hey, hold on. It's sort of like going through an area that maybe you're sometimes not familiar with, or maybe you're so familiar with it that you're not even paying attention. And so feelings of anxiousness are sort of like those blinking lights or the orange flags, like, hey, hold on, there's something going on here. Maybe you need to like just pay attention a little bit more. It's not, so sometimes anxiousness helps us be aware of our surroundings. It gives us clues as to maybe some dangerous situations and so forth. And sometimes it's clues in your body like, hey, this is not sort of typical, so maybe pay attention.
Huh.
Yeah. And so you're not on board with that.
I'm not on board that it's necessarily good for you. Like,
it can be. I'm not saying it's good for you. I'm saying it can be a helpful tool.
I'm not on board with it necessarily being helpful because I see a lot of red flags with that. But even some of the things you said.
Like what?
I think it all depends on context.
Well, yes, always. And
I don't think we can justify it as helpful or as a tool.
Your body is saying, hey, hold on a second.
But sometimes if you're just trying to go for something and your body's like, hold up, nope, like it's not helpful for you. Like going for a job interview. Why do I need to feel anxious? How is that helping me?
I think when people have some feelings of anxiousness, it's like, okay, I want to do extra well. I'm going to prepare a little bit.
Why can I not feel that way without being anxious?
Sometimes I think if you didn't have the sense of feeling anxious, you may not attend to things as well, right? How many times have we just sort of gone in like, I got this. I'm totally like, there's some situations we walk into, even if they're new, like we're not feeling that anxious about, and we sort of go in, and sometimes it goes well and sometimes it's not. And I'm not saying feelings of anxiousness are always helpful. I'm saying feelings of anxiousness can be helpful. They can just be a clue like, hey, pay attention. And then when you pay attention, like, yeah, I know I have an interview, so my stomach's a little upset. Okay. It doesn't mean you have to as long as you know what your physical symptom is or the racing thoughts or what have you, however you experience anxiousness, right? Because everybody's experiences are a little bit different. And so that's another thing is like how you might experience anxiousness might be very different than how I do.
Just ignore it.
Ignore it, push it down. That's your answer to everything, Victorya.
It works out sometimes.
Right.
Why my eye twitches so much.
It's how your eye twitches. There could be a magnesium deficiency.
No.
Or some other.
I don't think so.
No. And okay, but then and we've talked about this, which is you can have the sensations, but that doesn't mean you need to necessarily do anything with that, right? Because you're going to, no matter how you feel, you're going to go through that interview and do what you need to do to the best of your ability in that moment. Mm-hmm. Doesn't mean, right? Sometimes we have to be brave and get through moments and do the best we can, regardless of how we feel in that situation. Mm-hmm. And so, and that's another thing, right? And which I just sort of mentioned, I think it's important to know how each of us typically feel anxiousness, right? Like, some people it's a stomach upset. Some people it's headaches. Some people it's racing hearts, or the heart racing. Some people it's racing thoughts, and others trembling, sweating, dizziness. Like there's all sorts of different ways people feel anxious. Some people get flushed, and sometimes it's just a certain body part. Sometimes ears go red, necks, arms. Right. And so how each of us experience it can be extremely different. But when we know our body signals, that allows us to pay attention a little bit more. Mm-hmm. You're like, what?
I'm like, yeah, thank you for explaining that to me. I already knew
it. Of course you did, because you're brilliant.
Right. Right.
But do you think everyone knows
No.
how their body experiences it?
No, I don't think everybody needs to know. Like, sometimes,
You don't?
can we just go through life, like, not caring about absolutely every little thing?
I don't know. Who are you? I do think, yes, I personally believe it's very important for people to know what's happening in their body and what that might mean.
I know you feel that way. I know you feel that way. I do. And that's why you do so much mindfulness. Personally, I don't like doing mindfulness.
Really?
Yeah.
You want mindlessness?
Yes.
Let me put an earbud in with some headphones on and throw some other music in the background and let me be totally mindless.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because it works for you.
It does.
Right? And yet, do you know how you typically, like if you're feeling anxious, do you typically know how you experience it?
Yeah.
And so then for you, when you're like, oh yeah, this is happening, of course, because I'm a little anxious, and you don't have to give it that much thought versus somebody else who doesn't know that that's how it might be anxious. Like this, people end up in emergency rooms thinking they're having a heart attack because their heart is racing and their chest hurts or what have you. And obviously if there's chest pain, like please proceed to your local emergency room unless you already know and have had that several times and you know how to manage panic attacks. But I think it's important for people to know and understand because, right, that's part of the work we'll do with clients is noticing some of those symptoms maybe before the chest starts hurting or before, you notice your heart's racing. What can we do to bring that down? When we're more aware, we can catch it earlier because earlier intervention helps.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, whatevs.
I'm trying to, guys.
I know. So let's
It's been a long week.
It's been a long.
It's only Tuesday.
What are some typical experiences that you think a lot of teens and folks your age experience?
Making friends, trying out for the team.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So like a lot of like fear of not being.
Let me tell you, okay, I don't know that I ever told you this story.
Uh-oh.
I quit dance in high school, but then when I went to college, I started on the dance team. Walking into that first practice was terrifying because I was the only new person on the team.
You were the only freshman that year.
I was the only freshman on the team that year.
And so what was that like for you walking in? You said terrified.
Yes.
And yet you did it.
I did it. I don't know. I just sat there quietly.
But you tend to be very quiet when you are, and you pay attention and listen to everything. That's your, I know people who've watched this and have never met you, like they might think you're actually very talkative and outgoing.
I'm not.
At all.
I'm not. I usually sit in the corner and observe.
Would you say you're very shy, introverted?
According to the personality test thingy,
Oh, yes.
I am not an introvert.
No.
I am an extrovert.
Okay, so yes, because you get your energy by being with people, right? Introversion, extroversion. You like being around other people. That's how you refuel. But the introverted part of you
I like
to sit
being
back
with
and
people,
process.
but I do, yes. I need to know everything that's going on.
And you watch and listen.
I do. I observe.
Mm-hmm. But you do like to sit down and yap with people you know.
I do. I can get some yap sessions in.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing it right now.
You're doing it right now. So
where were we?
We were talking about common situations people feel anxious.
Mm-hmm.
And you were saying, like, so you're walking in, trying out for this team, and it had been a couple years since you had danced.
I wasn't trying out. I was on the team.
You were on the team.
I didn't have to try out. Thank God. I would not have done it if I had to try out.
Oh, really? brave, but not that brave.
I ain't freshman year me was not brave. Freshman year me was not going to do it.
Well, you were also 17.
I was
starting college a year early, finishing high school a year early. Walking into those situations that would be daunting for a lot of people. And yet you did it.
Mm-hmm. It was an experience, okay? I don't remember a whole lot of it because this was freaking like 4 or 5 years ago now.
Mm-hmm. Ages ago.
Ages. That's like half a decade.
Mm-hmm.
That is half a decade. Anyways, I was there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like other situations. I was like, I think no matter how many times you've been to interviews, because you started off talking about that, like even if I'm doing interviews at this point, I still very, very nervous. I don't think that goes away. And then sometimes in new situations, like if I'm working, a new presentation I've never done before in front of a large group of professionals, I'll feel nervous about that because, like if I've done the training before, it's old hat, even if it's a new group, I sort of know how it's going to go. But anytime I do a new training, the pace, like, do I have enough information? Do I have too much? And I'm not going to get through all of it. Like, that's all very anxiety provoking. You're like,
well, no, I just had like a little thought. You can build off of this because I'm just going to say what I observed, but I got nowhere to go with it in my head right now.
Okay.
We're talking about anxiousness, anxiety provoking things, and yet I use the word terrified walking in, and you just use the word nervous.
Oh, so talking about maybe even different levels, right? Because terrified is a whole different thing. And I think
but it's also completely different from anxiety, from feeling anxious. So like the overlap there.
Well, the whole underlying theme, and I think you're right, you bring up a really good point. The whole underlying theme of anxiety is fear, right? And you talk about terrified, which is a whole level of intensity that's different than me, which is talking about being nervous and a fear of what if I don't have enough information, or what if I have too much and my timing is off and this and that, when I really know I'll handle it just fine. That's a whole different level than walking in as a 17-year-old, freshman on college with a team that's all been there before. That is terrifying. Because you're talking about your entire social being on a campus, right? Like a team, how are they going to react to you? And what if they reject you? Like that's terrifying, especially for a 17-year-old young woman. What would you have said to knowing what you know now, what would you have said to that 17-year-old girl that you were?
I don't know.
No words of wisdom.
I don't got any words of wisdom for her. She'll make it through. She'll be fine.
But that's what you would say to her. You'll make it through. You'll be fine. That doesn't sound very convincing.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're going to fall flat on your face. You're going to bomb it.
You're going to do what you're going to do. And it's going to work out the way it's going to work out.
And you're good enough and it's going to be okay.
Sure.
Again. So, we're going back to anxiety or anxiousness and it being very fear-based, right? Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of not getting it right, all of those things. And so some other things, I'm guessing college, like I'm guessing there's a lot of anxiousness a little bit about grades. Oh, don't me, because I'm telling you, as faculty, I would say that's one of the biggest challenges that I have because of emotional contagia, right? That these students like come and they've got to get these grades and they're all they're anxious is they're pushing off on at least what I felt like what can I do as their professor to make certain they get the grade that they want, right? Because they're coming to, well, I've got to have an A. I've got to have an A. Okay. Wait, I want to help you get the grade that you want. You might have to turn in the assignments. That's a whole different, and that's not all the conversations, right? Because most students do really well. But there is a lot of pressure, I think, about grades that students put on themselves and therefore put on other people. And a lot of them, some of them would say,
do we put them on ourselves, or does the grading system put it on us?
Well, I think the students put it, because as a professor, I don't think you have to have an A. Not everybody's going to get an A.
If it wasn't just an A, if it was just a pass-fail? If that was the grading system.
Oh. So you're saying something should just be pass-fail?
If our grading system was just, you passed or you failed, there's no pressure of getting an A or a B or a C.
But then do you think some people would excel and do well if all I got to do is get a 60%? Like, would you, if that's all you had to do in some of your classes, would you have learned as much and would you have pushed yourself to learn all that you did?
So I want you to hear yourself right now.
Push yourself. Yes, I did say that.
You're saying that, yes, people should strive for the highest level of achievement, which is the entire issue that you were talking about here.
I guess I don't see it. I was asking you specifically because I know you put that pressure on yourself. I don't think.
But if it was just a pass-fail, I'm just striving to pass.
So go for mediocrity.
I'm not saying go for mediocrity, but like, if all I'm striving to do is pass, then I'm just going to pass. I'm not saying that I'm just going to do the bare minimum to pass.
Right.
But like...
And I think that there are some things...
4.0, I want that. A pluses, I want that. Because that is the highest level of achievement. And therefore, I must get that. Because I must push myself to do do the absolute most.
Yes. Hello, anxiety. I must have the best. And that's okay for some people. Like, that may be how you operate. There are some tests that are criteria based, right? Driver's exams. You pass or you fail. You either get your license or you don't.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the reward, right? Most people study or practice so that they can pass because they want their license.
I don't think you were getting at what I was getting at there.
Yeah, I think I was. Maybe I just wasn't completely on board or agree that every class should be pass-fail.
That's not what I was saying.
Okay.
I'm saying that...
You were saying?
If you want to do the absolute best, if you want to succeed and you want to push yourself, you are going to push yourself to the highest you can, which is that A. So is the grading system not pushing us to be more anxious in itself? The idea of the grading system.
I don't know.
And therefore,
maybe
as the school systems are pushing us into anxiety versus
I don't know
just
about
a pass-fail. A pass-fail. You pass, you fail. No in between. There's no B's or C's. It is just, you did good, you did shitty.
I don't know. I think some things are fine being pass-fail, right? Criterion-based, but I also think that there are some students who go above and beyond, and that should be reflected in their grade. Now, if the student themselves pushes themselves to want to be a higher achieving, then I think a few things. And I think it's the students sometimes who do that, but I also think they get a lot of pressure from external, whether it's parents or coaches. I heard that a lot of times teaching in an undergraduate, is that the pressures from coaches or parents. But then I think some people do it themselves. And we're always going to have some people who...
And if there was no grading system of an A, B, C, D, E, F, what... There's no E's. What happened to the E? What happened to the E? I just want to know.
Because I think it was A, B, C, D, excellent, fail. Excellent failure? I don't know. I think...
What does A stand for? What does B stand for?
A stands for excellent.
B stands for basic? C stands for concerning?
I don't know. Usually B is like good.
A stands for excellence, but it doesn't...
I'm just thinking on some of the different other rating scales I've seen. Like, and then C is fair, and then D is poor.
And just, if there was no grading systems, there would not be any pressures from the parents.
Blame the grading system.
Or, you literally are saying that people are more anxious and invoke more anxiety symptoms in themselves because they are striving for the highest freaking grade. If there was not a grading system like the one that we have, that would not be the case.
I feel like we need to do some research on some pass-fail to see if they have a different rate of anxiousness amongst their students. That'd be an interesting study. I'm thinking about it. But I work with a lot of graduate students, right? So master's and doctorate level. So, usually we just accept as faculty that, there's a certain level of anxiousness in our students that we just usually tend to expect.
And if it was just pass, fail versus A, B, C, do you think that anxiousness would go down?
I don't know. Let me ask you that, because counseling labs in the summer are pass, fail. Was there reduced anxiousness with that?
I feel like that's a whole different scenario.
Mm-hmm.
They were not pass fail because if you were late, you dropped a letter grade, right? I don't know.
In your final grade, but labs itself was a pass fail.
I don't know, but it all reflected in your final grade also.
Mm.
So therefore, it was also a part of the class. Anyways, that's different because labs in itself is just a whole nother level of
intensity.
Intense, and I don't want to get into that. But the class I'm in right now, the class that I was in last semester, that I was about my assignment.
So what I'm hearing you say is,
I think every assignment should be pass fail, and I think the classes should be pass fail because I look at that freaking 83% on that final project, and I'm like, that. Why don't you just say pass or fail?
Because
what is that 83% doing for me?
Right, because you saw a B, and what you internally said was not good enough.
No, I said, what kind of... yeah. I'm not allowed to cuss on the show.
Even though you've already violated that at least once today.
I think a couple times.
I try, y'all. I do try.
I'm trying.
I'm certain I've dropped a swear word here or there.
I'm sure I've dropped many.
So I'm hearing, and this is not typically you. You typically do accept a lot of responsibility for yourself, but you're like, blame the grading system, blame the instructor who obviously does 83%.
Listen, if nobody got an A, it's not our fault.
Oh, so that's it too.
That's just not even it. It's just pass fail. Pass fail. Why do we need numbers? Because as a society, what has numbers done for us?
I don't know. I sort of like numbers.
You like getting on the scale and seeing numbers?
Oh, no. Not those numbers.
The 5'3" guys out there, they like seeing the numbers on the rulers? On the tape measures?
I don't know, but maybe the 6'5" guys do.
I'm saying, what have numbers done
Numbers
for
just
us?
are. Numbers is, okay, so this is the whole point.
When you're looking at a math equation on a page, what are numbers doing for you?
Okay.
When you looked at our math homework when we were in elementary school, what did those numbers do for you? They did not do.
They did not, but this is the whole point, I think, right? The numbers are just the numbers. It's the value that we ascribe to them or how we're feeling about what that means to us.
And as a society,
right?
what have we put? Like, those numbers have meaning for everybody. What if we just didn't
Because we'll still put meaning on something else. We always change words or values, but we still judge. Oh, did I interrupt you? Did you have a thought?
No, I'm just annoyed.
You're just annoyed because you're not convincing me yet.
I've convinced myself, okay?
I'm wondering if what I'm hearing you say is that you're ready to sort of enter a time in life where you don't have to constantly be performing to where you have to meet a certain benchmark.
I'm wondering if you could stop wondering things for me, because you always go way too deep and it's just like not that deep. Also, I am missing Dancing with the Stars for this. I just want you to know that. That just popped into my mind. I'm missing Dancing with the Stars right now. It's live.
It's live.
It's live and I'm missing it.
I didn't even know you watched it.
Yeah. Anyways. I just felt like it needed to be thrown out there that I am missing that for this argument.
Well, we don't have to argue. We can move on. So
Okay.
Obviously, grades are a really touchy subject for this.
Numbers in general.
This person who's in a grad school.
Numbers in general.
Okay.
Numbers. How much you get paid. It's a whole number. What economical, like, point you're at? Social economical, like, standpoint? What financial bracket you fall into? Numbers.
What I really hear you saying is, did I get this number and am I good enough? Or no, I didn't get that number.
I think
so
numbers put a lot of, like, pressure on people, and I just don't understand the point of numbers.
How about just a paycheck that really has no numbers on it? Would that be better?
I don't know. I just have beef with numbers right now. Okay, just let me be.
Okay. We're going to move on.
I have issues with numbers.
With numbers.
Okay.
There could be other situations, right? Like relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We don't have to put numbers on relationships. But those fear of rejection or fear of
I'm really looking for a way that I can tie numbers into that.
I'm certain you can, but I don't know that that would be appropriate.
Okay.
Meaning, like, how many people is somebody dating at one time? Or how many dates? I know you did, and I'm trying to reel it back in here.
Guys. Okay. What about dating?
I was going to say, maybe this should, like, you had an interview today, you're dissembling, is that the right word? Dissembling, discombobulated, I don't know. I would say, like, maybe we should have done this trial, but you have another interview tomorrow. Yeah. So there may be a certain level of similar hot messedness.
I'm thriving, okay? Let's continue. What about relationships and anxiety?
That also brings up a lot of anxiousness. What about even plans for the future, right? Like, what am I going to do? Remember, like, senior year, people are, I think, both in high school and in college. Like, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? That's very...
Still haven't figured it out, guys.
Yeah, I haven't figured it out either. I haven't figured out what I want to be when I grow up.
I was asked, like, what do I see my career being, like, 5 years from now? In my interview today.
Oh.
And I was like, I came up with something, but I don't know.
What do you want it to look like in 5 years?
I don't know. I want to be rich and living my best life. I want to be working like 2 days a week just for funsies. I want to be traveling. I want to be living in a mansion, living my best life. I just want to be living a life that, like, I thrive in, you know?
I think this is a lot of
But I know that's not realistic.
Dreams, right? Like you can
Like,
dream.
I'm aware.
And who knows?
Who knows?
Oh, let's play the lottery again. Just to dream. I don't know. Okay. So what do people want to be? I'm trying to, again, like, I think you've brought up so far, like when we think of teenagers and college students and even young adults who are moving into professions. So we've got like being on a team, being, friendships or relationships. And then we talked about grades, performance, right? Even if you're on an athletic team or what have you, there could be some performance anxiousness with that. Like, will we win? Will we not? What other types of situations do people get into? We talked about interviews.
Social gatherings, even family gatherings. I don't know. I'm just thinking like the holidays coming up.
Oh, yeah. That brings up a lot for people.
We'll get into in later episodes,
right? Like how to navigate some of that. But you're right. Like, so, and just going out in public, some of those like do some people like big events? Like you went to a Taylor Swift concert.
It did. That was okay.
So that wasn't,
I don't know, like the people around me kind of annoyed me. But like that's because like they kept bumping into me. But
it was fun. It was part of the vibes. Fun. But that was a lot of people in the stadium.
It was.
Uh-huh.
But I could only see like 5 people around me. Everyone else just like little dots. So.
Little dots everywhere. Because you were like nosebleed section, like the very...
I think we were like 3 rows from the very last row.
But you were there.
We were there.
We were there. I was not there.
You were not there. I wore these boots there. Guys, she told me that I couldn't buy these boots because I would never find a place to wear them. And then a week later, I got invited to go watch Taylor Swift, and I said, these are going.
Yes. You've got a great cousin.
I do.
You guys had fun.
Mm-hmm. Anyways.
So, yes.
Back to anxiety.
So, you're saying buy the boots and the event will come?
Yes.
Always buy.
Yes. Always buy the shoes.
Always buy the shoes.
Especially if they're sparkly. There will come a time where you can wear them.
Yes. You will make.
I bought a pair of sparkly knee-high boots that like come up to here. They're like pink and blue. And I planned my sorority bid day around those boots.
Yes, you did.
Yes, I did. I said, I will find a place to wear these.
And I have pictures of you climbing up ladders in those boots because you were still making things happen. Mm-hmm. So you can be very functional in the shoes.
You can be.
All right. I think we're going to get back on topic now. We're
so far off topic. Let me lead way this. Another anxiety-inducing thing. Recruitment. Sorority bid day. Stuff like that.
So, and I mean, I think social gatherings, and then also, carrying on, because you did some things with the psychology club and there were some things that because you had to speak at like some of the initiation for, Psychi and the honor societies. And so those can be.
My senior year, people stopped asking me to speak for things. They were like, don't worry, we won't force you to do this. Because, guys, don't ask me to speak for things. Don't ask me to read things. It's a struggle to get through.
And that's because
anxiety.
You can't read? I was going to say.
Well, I can barely speak English on a good day, and it's my primary language. Let alone reading things. My brain just reads them too fast, and so everything just, like, gets squished together. It's okay. It's okay. And then you put me in front of a crowd.
And that's what does it to you.
It really does.
And that's you. And then they see you on this podcast and like this girl that just yaps and like talks. I mean, I've never actually sat here and go like, who are you? Because the version of you sitting here is sometimes a lot different than how I experience you in other ways. But I think that's normal for people that we know, right? Like, I think I told you, like when your dad went on a business trip with me and we went out to dinner, he's like, I've never seen you talk so much because at home I'm quiet. Like we can be different in different ways. All right. So we've covered a lot of those types of situations. Careers.
Dating.
Oh.
It's bad.
Like going out on a date.
That's rough. Have not experienced that. That's rough.
You've not experienced going out on a first date, have you?
No.
And that's not unusual for people your age, right? Like you're not the only one who's not experienced that. That's a whole nother probably podcast topic that we need to do. But just the thought of going, and do you guys just like avoid it in general? Like you do more group stuff sometimes if you were going out?
I just feel like people... like I've gone and hung out with people.
Right.
Like I've gone and hung out with guys one-on-one, but like out on an actual date, no.
So nobody... Dating
just doesn't happen anymore. Nobody wants to date. I don't know.
But would you want that experience? Like to have somebody like, hey, I'd like to take you out for dinner.
Yeah.
And you'd probably feel all the anxiousness, but it's not a bad thing. But I also think a lot of people your age, the pandemic really impacted. You know, no proms, none of those big like milestone types of things that typically happen for a lot of folks your ages. And so there was a couple of years of you all that didn't happen for you. Yeah, and you were right there in that group. So to any viewers out there, you've heard it. She would like to go out on a first date. So I'm not going to share her personal number, but I'm picky. Reach out.
I am picky.
You have given your TikTok.
I have.
And you're available on his, people can reach out and find you on Instagram. She does not open Messenger, though, y'all.
I don't. Not. Facebook Messenger, absolutely not. The notifications are turned off 24/7. I open it usually once every 3 months when they tell me they sent me something important. So those are different areas that that a lot of times people feel anxious about. How do people? What do you recommend if people are feeling anxious? Tapping is very good. Tapping, you all. There's different points right here and here. I was doing this because I was bored. Anyway, apparently that's a technique. She always recommends mindfulness.
Always. Because that's the number one thing. If I have a client with anxiety, and especially panic disorder, any of those hyperarousal symptoms, mindfulness is going to be one of the things that we include in treatment. Absolutely. I'll try to put some tips on mindfulness out there for some of our readers.
On our website.
I'm going to try. I'm working on some things. It'll come, you all.
Guys, you can go submit a topic on our website, too.
Yeah, give us some ideas to yap about. Actually, this idea of anxiety came from somebody through Facebook Messenger, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
You're not going to convince me Facebook Messenger is interesting.
I didn't say it's interesting. I said it's a way people stay connected.
Yeah, it's not a way I stay connected.
Obviously not.
Anyways, where were we? Oh, other ways to reduce anxiety.
So mindfulness, top way that I would absolutely recommend.
Distraction. Go color.
Yes. And did you know you could actually color in a way that's mindful?
Yeah.
But distraction works well too. For distraction, coloring.
Go cry it out.
Cry it out. Cathartic release. Tears are great. depends, like, don't stay there too long, and maybe don't cry it out at the job interview.
Yeah. No, afterwards or before.
Like, get in the car and drive a parking lot away and then cry, maybe. Keep it together until you leave the property.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So cry it out.
I don't know.
Phone a friend?
Yeah, I guess.
It's almost like 0 stars, do not recommend, phone a friend.
I mean, like, what's your friend gonna tell you?
Get a grip, cry it out, go color, let's watch a movie.
Usually my friends just like agree with me. Like, yeah.
But that's validating. So having somebody validate your feelings or be empathetic, like, yeah, I get it. Like, ugh. That doesn't help sometimes to know that somebody gets where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's good to know that you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
And that what you're feeling can be very normal. Like, a lot of people would feel that way in your situation.
Retail therapy.
When you're anxious?
I don't know. It could happen. Like, you just got through like a massive interview or like presentation.
Okay, but that's your reward for getting through it, right? Like,
maybe you're still anxious and you're just like, some retail therapy can be good right now. I don't know. I'm just naming
I sort of think it's the after. Like, I think it's the reward to get through those. Like, you got through that moment. You did what you needed to do.
Sometimes, like, a little drinky drink prior to, like.
Okay, when you say drinky drink, y'all, she's not talking like leaded alcohol drinks. Usually she's...
I mean, to each their own. But, like, usually a coffee.
Maybe a Lotus drink. Those are your two go-tos if you're going to get a drinky drink.
A little drinky drink. Sometimes a margarita.
Well, yeah, but you use the word margarita. You don't call that a drinky drink.
Nah.
We know that's hardcore stuff when you're like, you want a margarita? Once every 3 months? Yeah, I
don't know. At this point, I'm just naming things and seeing where you go with them.
Yeah, I would say those tend to be more incentives to get through those sort of normal situations that you're just getting through. Yeah. However, you did bring up, like, we said retail therapy or some, I do think sometimes, a lot of times, there's actually been some studies that correlate eating and overeating with anxiousness. Like, people try to self-soothe sometimes with food or drink. I'm certain probably substance use, people do that. So those are the kinds of things that I think you have to be aware and be a little bit careful of not overusing any particular way, because otherwise those can turn into be some not so helpful coping skills when you're using them long term. I know you hate it when I go there.
No, I zoned out.
You zoned out. I worry about your attention span, girl. People watch this and like, have either of you been tested for ADHD? No, what are you talking about?
Probably. Okay. Probably. Right. It's also like,
we're talking about anxiety today. We'll bring up ADHD and we might share our own, because we guess probably
also,
enough
like,
anxiousness.
This just happens like in the middle of everything. So like, y'all, we're tired. We're doing our best here. We are. We're going to try to get back on schedule of like recording on the weekends when we are a little bit more. And not a Tuesday night, literally 2 days before it needs to be posted.
You feel a little anxious? Is there some fear that this is not going to get done?
No, I'm going to go watch Dancing with the Stars and then stay up all night doing this.
There you go. You're not going to do this while watching Dancing with the Stars, while listening to some, I don't know, other stuff, Criminal Minds.
No, not this time. I can't pay attention to Dancing with the Stars and edit at the same time.
Okay. Those two will take your full focus.
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now that we've got that established.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think we can wrap this up.
We probably can and should.
Probably. I don't know what other rabbit holes we're going down today, but I think we should be done.
So I do think, it would be great for our listeners to be thinking in terms of how do they experience symptoms that are anxiousness. And then, the other thing is to, that I do want to say, sometimes people use, have you ever heard, I have anxiety, so let me just excuse these poor, my lack of accountability. It's not.
It's just not.
If you have it, that's fine. But it's also, if we are prone to having anxious feelings, got an interview, it's still your responsibility to manage the moment, to manage the symptoms and get through and still do what we need to do. And then if you're unable to, then making certain that you're reaching out for help so that you can get through those situations and live your life.
Yes.
So what are your takeaways, Victorya?
Well, I now have beef with numbers, so I'll work that one out in therapy later.
Very good.
Anxiety, yeah. It's rough. It happens. It's part of life. Get through it. You'll be fine. What are your takeaways?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, to me, anxiousness and even some of those where it's starting to cause some problems and maybe an anxiety disorder, very treatable. First of all, feeling anxious, very normal, can be helpful, not always, but can be helpful as you're trying to navigate different things. Just use it as a clue. Think about what you need to do and don't let it stop you from moving forward and doing what you need to do. And if people need help, please reach out to some different resources. I know we have some resources on our website. I think we do. If not, we'll make certain that we add some resources.
Do not.
So
you can find resources on Google.
And so there are different resources out there. So welcome to, Google those. There's local resources. Psychology Today is a great place to go and find different professionals that are licensed in your state. Reach out to your high school counselor, college counselor, what have you. They also have a lot of different resources. So very treatable, though. That's what I've got.
Her.
Mwah.